actual government paper as Chris Hanks on the TV.
Hey folks, it is March the 15th, and today we're talking about chapter 35. And on chapter 35, we have the following terms. We have the 5 good emperors. That's Nerva, Trajan, Hadrian, Antonius Pius, Marcus Aurelius. The kids in the room are going to help us put the definitions up here. And just as a reminder, I told you a couple of weeks ago, but we're going to have a test on Thursday. I'm going to post today on the Google Classroom what chapters that's going to be over. This is obviously going to be one of them. And next week, we should start with the geography portion of the course. And that'll take us through the rest of the year. So, all right, we're going to give these kids a couple more minutes, and then we'll begin. 1 more minute, actually. The timer says 1 minute. Timothy, you okay, buddy?
Yeah.
Okay. Doesn't seem like anybody's really adjusting to the time change.
No.
Yeah.
Actually, I slept 1 more hour than usual, so I got 3 hours.
How do you sleep 1 hour?
3 hours,
I'm
gosh.
bad at math. 1 minus 3 is 2.
Oh, man. Okay. Well,
I still got 2 hours. 3 hours.
You get 1 more hour.
I'm just glad the sun will be up
No,
when I
you
get
don't.
home.
No, you lose an hour of sleep and you get a day, an hour.
Anyway.
I'm done.
Of like,
I know. Would you like my old pen?
Hey, all right, folks. So let me show you what I have today and discuss it for just a second, and then I'll let y'all go at it. So the period of 5 good emperors. So first we had the 12 Caesars, if you remember, and that ended with the rule of Domitian. And he was known as being a pretty bad emperor. He had a lot of vices. He was very vain. He had led the Roman legions into battle against Germanic people and lost over and over again. So he wound up just paying bribes just to keep them away from their borders. Following his murder by the Praetorian Guard, you're going to have the appointment of Nerva. Nerva is going to be known as a rather short reigning, but a good emperor. So that's going to be good. Then you're going to have Trajan. Trajan was really up about conquest. And so as a conqueror, he's going to expand the borders of the empire to its biggest point, right? So following that, you're going to have Hadrian. Hadrian's going to be known for kind of like consolidation. He's going to do things like build up fortifications and defenses to try to hold what Trajan had conquered and what other Roman emperors and Romans before that had conquered. You're also going to then, after that, have Antonius Pius, which is going to be an emperor during a relatively very peaceful period. And he's going to do a lot in the ways of religion and education as far as like Hellenistic religion and things like that within Rome. Then you're going to have Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher emperor. He's a Stoic philosopher, and he's going to be known as a rather kind man, but he's going to have to spend almost his entire time as emperor off leading his legions in wars against more Germanic invaders, but also against what we call the new Persian Empire that's rising up in the east. And unfortunately, as your book says, his army returns after fighting the Persians. They're going to bring home to Rome a form of plague. Now, it's not the bubonic plague like you're going to learn about next year that's going to crop up in the end of the Middle Ages. But this, whenever we use the term plague, we're usually talking about essentially a pandemic with a very high death rate, right? So a lot of Romans are going to die from that. So Nerva, the statue of him right there. As being a very kind guy, as your book says, he doesn't even take time to correct the Praetorian Guard for killing the prior emperor. And that's going to you have to remember the Praetorian Guard were set up to defend the emperor, but they're going to become such elite soldiers, so well paid, that they're going to pick who gets to become emperor and slay those who they deem to be bad emperors. And later on, they'll be able to be bribed to help set up emperors. And we have Trajan, who's known as kind of like a warrior emperor. He likes to spend his time out with his legions conquering. Why would?
What's he into?
He's not wearing a shirt. Not much. I don't know. I guess he was really into himself. The thing is, I'm not sure if a lot of these emperors are quite as healthy as they look. I don't know. Like I don't know. Maybe they like paid the artist to okay, give me some abs. I don't know. All right. So here's the empire at the biggest point under Trajan, and so you're going to see they're going to have Spain, North Africa, Greece, what we knew as Persia during the time of Alexander the Great, Eastern Europe, Britannia, which was England. And so have y'all made it to the second book in Latin yet?
No.
No.
No. Okay, well, you're gonna like read about that a bit when you get to the second Latin book.
Right.
And of course, he's gonna make it all the way up to Scotland. If you remember, the Romans had skirmishes with the Scots before, but now he's really going to solidify his holdings here in England. And the emperor after him, this is, skipping ahead. This is known as Trajan's Column. And historians and archaeologists love studying this because it has a lot of details regarding how we believe that the Romans fought and armed their soldiers. So it's essentially like a story column where you have different parts of Trajan's conquests as he's moving on to conquer different parts of the empire. So, neat stuff. How he's going to end the dole, or not the dole, but the bribes to the Dacians, those Germanic invaders. So a lot of Romans are going to see him as somebody who's going to restore pride to the Roman Empire. Yes, again, still up to date. All right, so following him, you're going to have Hadrian. Hadrian is going to be really into building and architecture and also improving Rome around him. He's going to incentivize Romans to do things like build wine presses and nice structures within their towns. One of the things about Romans is that, like the Greeks, they really got into spreading their culture. The Greeks were very good about spreading their culture. Like wherever they would go and build a colony, they would have like a theater, and of course they'd have a place for the games and exercise, and poetry and politics. But the Romans made it into a very standardized factory-like setting. Whenever the Romans would set up a military base or a colony, it was like a cookie cutter city. You would have a very uniform place where they would have their baths, where they would, of course, have their theaters, their libraries, their forums. And the Roman lifestyle was so appealing to people who were trying to become part of this, is that they would copy the Roman dress, Latin, and other ways to try to be more Roman. And Hadrian had a big part in this because he was such a builder, and he would help essentially like give low interest loans to people who would copy Roman building. This is Hadrian. Yeah, I'm sorry, this is Hadrian. I don't remember who that is. No. This is Plutarch. Yeah, Plutarch was around during the time of Trajan.
Plutarch was.
Yeah, so Plutarch was a
He was such a hefty man.
hefty man. He was a Greek who was Roman citizens then, and he was a governor over Greece for Trajan. And during his time as governor, he wrote his biographies on the Caesars and ancient Greeks. And he wrote them in a way that was kind of flattering to Trajan's taste, because, politicians always try to keep their jobs. But here's Hadrian. Hadrian spent almost his entire time as emperor traveling around the empire, It was one of the reasons why people liked him is because he at least got to know the locals and see what their local problems were. But the empire was so large, you would have to spend like your entire life traveling around it, because they were like by foot or on horseback. And that was a long time back then. So he's going to build what's known as Hadrian's Wall, much of which is still known today, or still up today. And this separates Scotland from Ireland. Let's see. And there's a picture of some of it today.
Ireland? You mean England?
Yeah, I meant Scotland and England. Yeah, my
Like a
bad.
big wall.
Yeah,
But
you
it's easy to
would
climb
need a
over.
pretty big wall to separate the
That's-
ocean.
But you can climb over that easy.
I guess you could do it. Yeah, so he did a lot of building all around the empire. So after this, you're going to have Antonius Pius. Antonius Pius is going to, of course, be known as like a very religious guy. And one thing, however, during the period of the five emperors, all was not well with all Roman citizens, because there's one thing that did not end even during the period of the five good emperors, and that's religious persecution. And so, though it would go down sometimes, it would always pick back up. And we'll talk about an example of that in a second. So this is Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher.
He looks like Jonas.
He's the philosopher emperor. And the thing is about Romans is Romans who normally didn't have beards, they like to be clean shaven unless they were a philosopher. Then they wore what was called the philosopher's beard. You're so
I'm sorry,
kind.
Jonas.
You're so kind. But yeah, as we mentioned, he's going to spend a lot of his time when he'd rather be spending his time studying thought. He spends his time off fighting against invaders. So
Super.
yeah, not exactly the way he wanted to live. But after him, he's going to be known as the last emperor who's going to hold it all together before they really start losing some of that Roman territory.
Can you go back one? No. So why is that guy throwing a spear while a person behind him is getting beaten to death by one of the invaders?
It looks like chaos. It looks like pale mail because honestly,
Posing.
I think it's just the artist's interpretation, because if a legion's broken up or their shield wall's broken up like that, they're probably not doing that well. That or they got the enemy on the run. But it looks like this guy here is not winning very much. So
Maybe he's thinking an algorithm, it's like helping him or something.
yeah, just
He's
helpful
studying
enemy
it.
friends.
Helping him sleep.
Let me help you up by your throat, fella. So yeah, the plague is going to come in, and a lot of Christian authors in this time believe that this was perhaps God's way of telling the Romans they should stop, burning Christians at the stake. And so this was seen as divine intervention.
What's that lady doing?
Well, these are people dying of plague.
Um,
Here's
God, we were-
looks like an angel, the angel of death, I guess.
I am.
Dying like that.
Saying, here's some plague for you. It's like, get in there and get your plague.
That would be a sword.
It's hot.
That's not a plague. That's just someone stabbing you.
It's plague sword.
That looks like an art project you did.
This is a picture of a guy named Justin. Justin is
Justin Timberlake.
Justin's one of the Justin was known as one of the main leaders of the Christian. I don't like getting interrupted like over and over again by rude comments. It's like hey, from here. So, all right. So Justin is known as one of the main leaders of the Christian movement in Rome during the time of Marcus Aurelius, and he's going to be known as Justin Martyr. And one thing we know about Justin is that a lot of what he said was written down, especially during his trials before his execution. And so, like if you study rhetoric, this is what we know as one of the beginning points of Christian rhetoric. And so he's like, even though he's on trial, he's about to be put to death, he makes a really good case about why the Romans are so evil in what they're doing, putting him to death, and why he's right regardless of his execution. So there's the death of Marcus Aurelius. And as he dies, he's going to leave the empire to his son, who's not going to be a very great guy, and he knows it. He's like, oh, shoot, bye-bye. So We'll finish more of that later. But no, not Justin Timberlake or Justin Trudeau. All right, so
Why not?
because he wasn't, maybe they were named in an incorrect way. Hey, so we had the terms Nerva, Trajan, Hadrian, Antonius Pius, and Marcus Aurelius. So I ask that you, the wayward students, will please come up here. And let's start with Nerva. Let's go in chronological order. I've heard that's a history thing.
Literally is recorded.
I've heard it before. Now, why do I have it?
You,
Like nervous.
Ella, you're right, I say.
Is Latin the root word for nervous?
Oh, you
For
can't
what?
write?
Is nerva the
No.
Latin?
I don't know what Nerva means.
The
Alright.
root word for nervous.
Maybe.
No,
That makes
you're
sense,
on
actually.
stage. 5 minutes for you.
Tisk, tisk, tisk.
You're actually so dense. Oh my god.
Jose, you right. She tells you.
Jose, right.
I'm getting to the page for her.
Come
I
on,
wrote
Jose,
notes
we
on
believe
this.
in you.
Oh my god.
Jose, it's
Ella.
page 241.
You're an co-worker. Here. I like how you accept that, not feel shame. I hate. I can't.
Yeah, look at that later.
Is humble the right word?
Humble is a great word.
I should put time because people. I just believe that everyone is like being fun.
It's like a Pokemon.
Humble is a great word.
Jose, what
Yeah,
type?
I'll put kind.
What type of ruler?
Breathe.
Jose, what type of ruler? Like a ruler? Like one who took you what to do?
Back then, elderly people were seen as wise. I don't know.
But they aren't anymore?
I guess not.
Was it more like senile?
Yeah.
So I have nothing to look forward
My
to?
face.
I can't even have the dignity of old age?
Kind and edible.
Making jokes that come out of the tombs of Egyptians.
Oh, yeah. Back when mummies were soggy.
I know you, infants. I literally memorized it.
And fins.
I knew that you're not gonna do anything.
Is that a comma or period after ruler?
Oh my gosh.
It's not period. Oh my god. my hand. You know, gonna go like this. I can't.
Jose.
write that. I can't.
Don't use the.
I think my phone hurts so much.
You should learn to like hold it.
More legible and Tristan.
He's like.
Here. Shut up. Not that part because I just gave up on that part.
To say lower taxes,
Yeah, the lower taxes.
we're doing the opposite with our president.
Get a very short rule, 2 years.
Yeah, 2 years is pretty short for a Roman emperor. Now, don't worry, it's going to get shorter later. We're going to talk about some.
Okay, I can't write
When
there.
we talk about the barracks emperors, it's going to be like, I'm emperor for a month, then I'm assassinated. Sad times for them. Sad times.
Oh my god, I need Ella. You are dead to me. You just disappear from my brain.
Okay, what is that? Adopted and
Young.
Oh.
Ah, that looks like, oh my god,
Sorry, I was
sorry.
confused. I wasn't trying to be like
There.
Janet question.
Adopted.
Stop! If your handwriting's better, Tristan.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I can't. I
It's a-
can't hurt so much.
They put the grippy thing on the pen for that, you know?
It's not a pen.
Yeah. I mean, how do you use it? It's usually considered.
No, he's using the marker.
I explain the Victorian Garden because my finger is getting numb. Here. We're done.
All right, so, what you put up here?
That's it.
So the first of the 5 good rulers or emperors was kind and elderly ruler who brought back exiles, lowered taxes, and ended the business of the informers. So the informers is like, hey,
Snitches.
yeah, snitches. If you tell on your neighbor for being anti-emperor, we'll kill him and give you money. Oh, okay. So that was pretty bad because nobody trusts. That makes a very bad society for reasons. He later adopted a young general from Spain known as Trajan. Died a few months later. All right, Trajan's next though. So let's hear a little bit about some Trajan facts. Ugh.
How shocking.
Only Jonah.
Only joking.
Do I have to go up there? Yeah.
Participate.
Can you write that bigger? I can't read it.
I'm not gonna do it, Tristan. That's what you're asking.
Right.
Can write massive words every time somebody plays.
His handwriting looks like Russian cursive. Yeah, she gets a sit. Literally a Russian right
You're
here.
gonna ask me to do my writing, I'm not going to.
Mr. Weiner, can you order her to stand up?
Why?
Wait, were we allowed to just sit?
Why can't you sit?
Wait, we were allowed to just sit and just do nothing?
No, you're helping one another. You can appoint one person to write as long as the other person has your information.
Just sits.
But the person who's writing obviously could not sit and write at the same time. It wouldn't work. Nobody has freakishly long alien arms.
Some people do.
Oh, one in here does.
What if you just bring a chair out to the board?
Then you could sit.
Mexican?
Like you'd have to have like
I would have
glasses.
to stand.
If you could do that with Marcus Aurelius. That's because that one's on the bottom. It maybe the one over that. Maybe Titus.
I'm sorry, I didn't know you can just sit there and just write down notes.
That just carried out was in the Black Sea. What does that mean?
Wars.
Oh.
I'm sorry I have to stand. Well, you could have just sat there and just told me what to write. Here's our-
Actually, he didn't have any
songs.
words in the Black Sea because there's water.
I still need to get the notes for chapter
Why do
30.
you capitalize improve?
Not chapter 35.
Uncapitalized.
I need to get the rest of us for chapter 34.
Uncapitalized improve.
I forgot about those. Not gonna do those later. Yeah, chapter 30.
Then an F after rule.
I'm getting upside down T because if you get here.
Then an F after rule.
I don't know.
So the P.
All right, so let's see here. Trajan, second of the 5 good emperors. Well, yeah. Given the title of Optimus, which means the best, carried out wars in the Black Sea, improved Rome, ruled for 18 years, and adopted Hadrian. Yeah, and also this is when the empire gets its biggest. So he's a big conquering emperor. All right, so next one, Hadrian. As in Hadrian's Wall. Now,
Okay,
Hey.
all right.
but hey Tristan, if you're gonna write, you
No,
cannot
I
write
wanna write.
letters bigger than my letters.
I want to write.
See, my letters, that's like the
Tristan,
maximum font
You
should
have
size.
one chance to get one as well.
Yeah, it has to be readable
Yay.
by the person in the back of the room. So
Pretzel.
it has, this is for others to read.
Where's the best?
There you go.
That's it, I'm saying that here.
Okay.
Can I help you?
No, that's his groups. He has 2 guys to help him out. If they can't do it, none of us can. He's right there.
One. Where is he? You just call it all of that? Wow.
That was my group.
Where is he? Are you talking about Jaden then? Nice.
I can read it. It's fine.
You cannot.
I didn't look at. Oh, the Empire. But there's
They
like
didn't have
Emperor
great
handwriting. Thank you.
Oh, yes.
Actually,
We had a thing going on.
I want to see Tristan's handwriting, like,
You are?
what? Stop.
Patron five.
You literally look like John Arbuckle.
I don't remember what that is.
The guy from Garfield. Bro.
Am I going up or is this?
It's going way up.
It is?
Yeah, I know.
Oh, oops.
Is that W?
It's like when I try to look down and write stuff. I
Gal.
can just
Gala?
Gawa.
think
Gal.
of my voice better than.
Is that W?
Where? Oh my
You
goodness.
look down and you get easy issues. I know.
Is that W?
You see that? in-
There. Oh, power.
Changing a lot of things that we see really quickly. Can you bring this up? Batteries have iron divisions.
Maybe.
Want to cook cereal at your.
Minecraft moment.
You need some
Minor
fish.
moment. The order of the craft. Cease and desist. Cease and desist.
Jose,
I-
no stat system.
It's not fair.
Tristan,
He's bullying
Over
me.
there.
I'm trying to write.
Yeah.
well, just don't interact with him. Treat him like a family.
Like a zoo animal. They're not interacting with kids.
So like don't feed the animals.
And then you like
Not
the
all.
weird birds and then they like leave my arm.
What?
That's never.
Ostrich moment.
Sounds like a story.
Why would the ostrich be able to poop on their arm?
Shush.
In the cage. Is that W?
Was he right at work? I thought that was a W.
Oh my.
Travel. Why would you? It's a boy.
Is that E in the country?
Where?
I know you're used to size 12 font, but like. you can't
Oh,
read that.
you can't read that? Oh,
That's
that's,
fine.
that's going way up.
Okay, where was?
No, I don't.
Why didn't you just do the teacher?
Just, you don't have the rest of
You
this.
can know Hadrian. Third of the 5 good emperors. We could have had like a friend.
What? Do I want? Okay.
Yes, just follow that.
Uh-oh.
You could have planned
Alright.
third of the good emperors.
You guys done?
No.
Okay.
You didn't go from like country to country. You went from you just stayed at home.
I had plenty of space. I don't know why I was going.
You spelled Britain wrong.
I did. Okay.
It's not Britain. Britain.
Well, I'm trying to get it down, okay? I didn't hear it.
Bertoin.
Like Bitcoin?
I don't.
Like
I
BJ?
don't
Britain?
put lines on A's. It's annoying.
Why is your dog?
It's okay, it's forgivable. Very good.
Yo, BJ Ruffin?
Babe.
August.
That kind of
You're
thing
and
is a
twice.
spin.
No, it's the line on the A.
Oh, no, I remember.
You live
That
in
was
spin.
good. So like you didn't
I'm so
know
old in
what's going
school. I'm the only one that knows about BJ. Wow. Brennan Joseph Ray.
You don't have to like.
Is he? Do you,
You don't
no,
have to
do
I'm
you
like
cap
OG of the school,
on.
so-
Okay, and then
Mr. White.
Anyway,
in North Africa? Do you capitalize the end on North?
Yeah.
No.
we
Oh,
typically
you don't?
do.
Except the rest of Africa's a location.
It is a location, but it's the same thing, like, we do the same thing for like North America, South America.
Just like United States.
You're not gonna.
I mean, would I like fail somebody for that? Whoop. But I'm just saying.
It's proper
Yeah.
grammar.
What does that say?
I don't know because it's illegible in the book.
No, where? Show me.
How long is your definition?
They are going the distance.
Last 13. Not a very good.
Wait. Oh, wait, I meant Athens.
For the trees.
That's okay. Antonius Pius is kind of a shorter one, so
I'm writing this verbatim, so
that
We're made of it.
ask them.
I specifically criticized that so everyone could hear it.
And guess what?
Oh my God, I'm so sorry.
Because I don't know, I like it. That's why I like it.
No, right.
One of the reasons is I
Oh
want
my God.
it work.
Did you
You're like kind
do they spell
And the
Titus
R
at the
Back
end?
to broad.
You're right, you're kind.
I like
Another
that.
L.
The bear? No,
Yeah,
like
you're right.
Titus, like the bear. It's
Yeah,
kinda
I
like-
can't even read it now.
This is, I think, once
And the orange back to orange.
in
I'm not
English
high.
spelling. Like,
Wait.
Oh, wait,
That's
and then
it,
went back to
man. That's
the
it.
word.
You know, so I
Back
don't think
to
it matters really.
And it dropped it into. And then.
But I think I normally see it with you. I think so.
I'm starting to see a pattern. Adopt someone and immediately die.
Yeah.
Happens.
I'm sure that, what if the dog kills him?
Exactly what you just said last.
Genius.
Shoot,
Jaden, you're
let me
not
see,
very nice.
before I forget.
What if it's like a skull, a body snatching?
English?
Adopt some person.
I might believe it when I see it, or I'm gonna check myself in for having schizophrenic things. Alright, so
Is that
Hadrian thought that the empire was so large he gave up some lands overpowered by Trajan in the east, and was followed by his legions and traveled country to country. He met Britain and visited Spain, North Africa,
Jaden, just go away.
Carthage, and went back to Rome. He
Jaden.
adopted
Why do you
kids,
think Britain?
Antonius, and died. Okay, very good, very good. That's a lot of
Retain
detail.
or something.
Now,
I
Yeah.
said Bretogne.
next one is Antonius Pius. So, let's get some of that. Now, let me see here. Wait.
What?
I opened up a calendar by accident.
No, that is not gonna work. I'm not
Wait.
moving for this.
I meant to open up the
Stop
classroom.
it. This better work.
Is it Gmail?
I can still read it.
You can read that right. And don't say no, Tristan.
Yeah, that's very clean and legible.
What does that mean?
I don't know, that's how she spelled it, okay? I don't remember.
That's how you spell it.
Pregnant? I don't.
No, no, it's not.
It's like water that comes from the sky. Rain.
What,
Precipitation.
Sky P.
No.
You know,
Hey,
sometimes
Adrian.
Whatever.
things that don't need to be said, that might have been more.
You should say, somebody should actually say.
Yeah.
What? No. She's just like that one dude. I forgot his
Okay,
name.
whatever, it's looking like trash.
Brian.
Properly
You like-
stop the coronavirus,
You like
it's
that?
all our purpose.
Yeah, I don't even know what that is, but okay.
Wait, so they say wear a mask at school, right?
Yeah, this,
So can I wear a ski mask?
No.
no.
As long as it covers your face.
No, I had one of those.
Because you
um,
know they'll just say something like, can't
They'll
do
probably-
that.
No,
they'll probably
I
call the
had
cops
one of
on me
those,
now.
And my dad asked me to wear it to school.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
There's one that goes all around, then there's one that just covers here.
yeah.
It goes over your whole face.
It-
And
it's,
only
I just think of it as a part of our uniform for now, so.
It's not Steven. There's nothing to wear.
So. I'm just sitting there. My hand looks bad.
And it's silent.
Oh, yeah. Let me see, Google Classroom. So I gotta see what chapters we're gonna need to have for our test. Yes.
Wait, Tristan's German?
Something about spring break makes me forget everything.
Oh my god, he does look German.
Excuse me, why does it look like
I like your handwriting.
Oh my gosh, you
Sorry,
really
it's good, not bad.
No, it's not.
Oh, there we go.
It's the best handwriting out there.
Right?
That's why it's always funny.
Okay, it looks like it's outlined for some reason. That's fine.
Because what?
Ah,
That's fine.
Because what?
No,
Just use a different marker.
No, say it.
no.
Just start over.
You
I
started.
already put the book out.
Okay, that was good.
Okay.
Yeah, no.
Okay, I'm using your homework, right?
Wait,
I'm making a note.
that one? Oh, wait, darn it. That was Georgian.
Oh my gosh.
So,
We go out tonight. Come on.
That's the
I
good
can't see my own definition.
That's good leg.
Yeah.
Don't kick the dog. Bark.
that's gonna do it. Right there.
Don't kick Odie. Wait, Odie?
Hmm?
Wait.
Best good.
That's what it says, okay? I don't know.
Just gonna make an announcement. There we go. Right, so,
I'm not in this.
space
Oh, yeah.
doesn't work. Over chapters.
Hop in the chipmunk.
Marcus.
What?
Dave.
Who? Earliest? Whatever.
That's just wrong.
I don't even know what that one looks like.
It's okay. We're kind to one another, right?
Dave from
Just
Alvin
like-
Chipmunks.
Just like Nerva, we're kind.
That's all I want.
All right, yeah, so I went ahead and I posted it as an announcement on Google Classroom, but our test on Thursday will be over chapters 33 to 35. So this chapter will be part of your test. So that's going to be from Pompey, the first triumvirate,
Looks like-
Caesar, second triumvirate, the 12 Caesars, and then these 5 Caesars. So,
it looks like Post
You know.
Malone.
That's a little bit test.
yeah, it's just going to have like 3 prompts like normal. You only have to answer 2, maybe 4.
Pass that through, man.
Right, so-
Post Malone.
Antonius Pius reigned, although he was a private citizen. When he became emperor, he didn't change, so he's known as a nice guy. To secure the best good. After he died, Marcus Aurelius took his place as emperor. So yeah, he's just known for a lot of like keeping the peace, public works projects of kind of name, stuff like that, but nothing super big. But sometimes that's what you want. I mean, would you rather live in a time with a lot of big historical stuff like wars, or would you rather live in a time that's forgotten because it's so peaceful? So, all right, next one. Hey, last one, Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher emperor, right? So, the Stoic. Good, so we got that.
Figure out some comments.
Pink of the blue.
I meant Athens, comma Carthage.
Oh, so sore. Let's see. All right, so 10th grade now.
Oh, wait, did I get a 73 on my test? I thought I got 93 points out of 108.
Really going in here.
The equal.
Was it super late?
No,
Is what?
it was the same day.
Is what?
That one test, the 36 question. Oh, wait, yeah, it was late.
Yeah, I thought it was super late. Yeah, because I thought you like aced it. It was like a week late. And I was like,
Yeah,
How
look,
does that even happen?
I thought I was being pretty nice.
I forgot about it.
I was being super nice.
I forgot, like, gave it to me, like, in ISS, remember that?
Yeah, that's
And then
okay.
You're going, like, downhill.
Yeah, I know.
Mr. Whiteman. So there's some teachers that assign an assignment, they put like 11:59 due date.
Uh-huh.
my cousin decided to do everything last minute and submit it at that exact time. I don't know why he did it.
Okay, what if you're like 3 seconds off?
Yeah, yeah. What if it's not Central Time? What if it's like New York time?
Time change.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you're kind of like over.
At night, so.
I gotta admit, I whenever I'm not in school anymore, but yeah, whenever I've done online classes, I was always kind of last minute with it. 'Cause I have a hard time making myself do stuff on the computer. So, yeah, I get it. But if you did it on purpose, that doesn't make any sense. Huh. Let's see here. 10th grade. Their last test was over. I think they've got a lot of topics to cover. Theirs is over the Renaissance. Actually, they have to be over Reformation most.
Go ahead.
Sure will not stay top of my head. Oh, and exploration, that's right. That's a lot of chapters.
Soft look, you funny look.
113 to 135.
What does that mean?
It's an 8, yeah.
Yes.
You like?
I think we
Long.
see it.
What is, what's what?
That's about it.
Hey, great. Good job. Marcus Aurelius. The last of the 5 good emperors was a philosopher and spent most of his time with his army. After fighting barbarians, they brought home a plague.
We all
Just-
wrote
just-
paragraphs.
Do you
Y'all are so smart. All right, kids. See you tomorrow.
It's like going down.
Bro, do you
Something
call
like